Hi, my name is David, and I'm going to walk you through how I solved the CSWP practice problem 11.4. So for this problem, we're going to jump right into it, creating the main body, and then start drilling holes. Let's go ahead and work in the front plane. Centered rectangle with dimensions 80 and 100, and we'll extrude that 125. Then on this front face, we'll draw a rectangle from the top right corner going down, and this vertical dimension will be 80 all the way up minus 10, so that leaves a distance of 10 on the bottom, and then here it's going to be all the way across minus 15. So just to show where that's coming from, so it's 80 minus this 10, and then all the way across 100 minus this 15. And then the depth is going to be 125, that's how far it is going deep, but minus this 25. That's how far in we're going to cut. Oops. So I'm going to make that cut. 125 minus 25. And there we go. So now we can start filleting. Most of the fillets have radius 10. There's one here, 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 and then all along the back face. And then radius 2 fillets. There's one here, here, and here. Okay, so on to the holes. It says all the holes can be created with one hole wizard feature and a 3D sketch option. So you'll notice that the pairs of holes are on 3 different planes, or 3 different faces, I should say. And so you could use the hole wizard on this face, and then use the hole wizard again on this face, and then use the hole wizard again on this face. Or you can use the hole wizard with a 3D sketch and get all 6 of these holes taken care of at the same time. So let's do that way. First we're going to select the hole. CS would stand for countersink. We'll use ANSI metric, and then flat head screw. I couldn't find flat head machine screw, but I think this is doing the job. And then M6. Make sure your end condition is through all, and then we can start working on the position. And here's where you can select 3D sketch as opposed to selecting one of the faces and creating a 2D sketch. So 3D sketch, and then you can mouse over any of these faces here and start drilling holes, even on the top or the filleted faces right here. So let's put the faces roughly where they should be. Here, 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 and here, and here. And now we can start dimensioning them. So let's see. On this front view, we have lots of dimensions for these 2 holes. So let's set the horizontal distance between these holes to be 35, and then the right hole to the right edge will be 25, and then vertically 25, and then 20 between them. So we can select that face, hit Control 8 to make normal, and then go into dimensioning. Now if I click each of these points, it's going to give me that distance between and dimensioning that distance, but we want the horizontal distance, so we can hit Tab, and this is going to give you the distance along the X direction, If you hit Tab again, it'll go along the Y direction, and Tab again, the Z direction. So let me just show you what that looks like this. Now unfortunately in the Z direction it kind of breaks because they're both in the same, they're both in the XY plane, so there is 0 distance in the Z direction. And so I feel like that's a bit of a bug because it just kind of stops rather than rotating you back to X and Y. But let's go ahead and do this again then. So Tab, distance between horizontally is 35, and then from this point to this edge is 25. And then vertically, here to here, Tab, and then Tab. Vertically it's 20. Just go ahead and drag this out here actually. And then from here to the top edge is 25. So these points are locked into place. You can't drag them around. All right, how about, let's see, we took care of all these guys. These ones have some dimensions. So let's click on that face, Control 8. And here, when I try to dimension, the first tab is X, aligning along X. But these are in the YZ plane, so they have 0 dimension in the X direction, like 0 distance in the X direction. So when I hit tab, it kind of breaks. Let me show you what the error message is. If you click here, hit tab, it says could not create reference dimension from current set of selected items. So I was running into this problem and I did some searching trying to figure out what was going on. I feel like it's a bug because it prevents you from going to the other dimensions, right? If you hit tab again, it says it's going to the Y direction, but it's not showing me anything in the Y direction. It's not showing me that vertical distance. So let me try this again here. It's not showing me a vertical distance. So I feel like it's a bug. Maybe there's a workaround. Please let me know if you have a workaround. My workaround was to create a center line between these 2 points and then dimension the center line, which seems to be a little bit more stable. The first tab is messed up, but the second tab here, sorry, the third tab in the Z direction, it actually worked. So I can click here and make the distance between these 50. Kind of strange, but again, let me know if you have a better solution here. So then we set that distance to the edge to be 25. Now one thing is, when you look at this picture, these 2 holes are lined up in the same sort of plane. So if you look at the distance from the top down to this hole, it should be the same 25 as it is from the top down to this hole. And the vertical spacing between these 2 holes should be the same vertical spacing of 20 between these 2 holes. But rather than dimensioning these vertically and to this edge, I wanted to somehow lock these 2 holes to have the same dimensions as the ones we set for these 2 holes. And so the way I thought about doing that was by using more construction lines. So basically, make a construction line from this point to this point, who we want to be aligned in this XZ sort of plane. And then you can click on that construction line, Control-click on the plane that we want it parallel to, and then make that construction line parallel. So that forces it to be at the same height. Like if you actually dimension this one up to this edge, you'll see that it's 25, matching the other 25 height. Okay, so we can do the same thing for this guy. So select the construction line, Control-click on this plane, and make parallel. And now that one's locked into place too. Okay, and so these points are now fully defined, those points there. So now we just have these 2 guys. And if you look at the picture, it doesn't really show you any kind of spacing between them here or here, at least in this view. But this view is connected to this other view, which does have spacing. So we know the horizontal spacing between these 2 is the same as the horizontal spacing between these 2. And also, the vertical spacing between these 2 is the same as, if you kind of extend this and rotate it a little bit, is the same as the distance, or the horizontal distance between these 2 in this view. All right, like this line right here and this line right here are basically like these lines here and here. You have to tilt your head a little bit to see that, but we want that connection. All right, so let's start making some more construction lines to help lock these 2 points down. And since we roughly drew them where they should be, it's not too bad. we can click here on this point and this point. We want those to be along the same plane as these two as well. So you can click on this construction line, click control click on this plane, make parallel, and then same thing with this construction line and this plane, make parallel. So that lines these points up with these points, and then we got to line these points up with these points here. So again, some construction lines can help us out. Make a couple of them, and then make these two construction lines parallel to this plane. And again, you could dimension in each of these planes, and that would work as well. But I tried to make it so that I wasn't dimensioning as often. So like if I changed one of these dimensions here to like 40, then everything would update automatically. All right, so we're fully defined, looking good. We can hit D, and the green check mark appears right next to, this keyboard was covering it up. But in any case, there was a little green check mark that appeared, and we're looking pretty good. So we'll check the volume. We've got 390,113, 390,113. The answer key says 390,116 cubic millimeters. I think my answer is close enough, and I don't know exactly how they got the 6 in the last digit. And if you were able to get the 6 in the last digit, please let me know. I feel like the locations of the holes don't actually matter here. If you move the hole in a different location, the volume's still going to stay the same. So all the detailed work that we did locating the holes didn't really affect the volume in the end, I feel. But maybe it's something to do with the fillets being done different. I'm not sure. In any case, I think the answer that I got is close enough to end the video. So thank you so much for watching. Take care and keep studying.